This is a paper accepted by the findings of ACL 2023. This is the incredible story of how the researchers transformed the automatic scoring of argumentative essays and how they did it using nothing more than their minds and their hard works. It's a journey that will take me to every detail of this work, and I will be asking questions.
Who are you?
To the leading author of this paper, who will help me unlock the mystery of how this paper got accepted.
If you write your essay in invisible ink, can you claim it's a persuasive essay because it subliminally influences the reader?
So join me for a close look at this paper. Score it all together. A multitask learning study on automatic scoring of argumentative essays.
Do you think research in natural language processing is rather cruel? Because I heard that every paper needs a corpus.
What? No, corpus. I think you mean corpus. It is a language resource consisting of a large and structured set of texts. In our paper, we used a dataset comes from the computation of cargo called feedback price.
This dataset contains more than 4,000 essays annotated with 7 different discourse types, namely lead, position, claim, counterclaim, rebuttal, evidence, and conclusion statement, as well as the 3-point quality scale as effective, adequate, and ineffective. Through the distribution chart, we could see that while all types are most likely to be adequate, it is, for example, especially likely for positions to be adequate, and evidence is the label that is most likely to be ineffective.
Can you write an argumentative essay entirely in capital letters? Just to show how passionate you are. And it will make it very effective, right?
We didn't find any essay entirely written in capital letters, but we do find the properties of effective or ineffective arguments very important. Therefore, we conducted an analysis on the structural or semantic similarity of the argument pairs in order to see whether arguments with the same quality label are similar to each other.
To optionalize structural similarity, we replace every content word in an argument by their part of speech tag so that only function words are left inactive, and then compute trigram overlap between argument pairs. For semantic overlap, we compute the cosine similarity between expert vectors. The results showed that effective arguments are more similar to each other than ineffective ones.
Expert, is it another annoying relative to my old neighbor bird?
No, expert is a sentence embedding using Siamese BERT networks, while BERT is a large pre-trained language model.
We used the BERT in our first study, along with the logistic regression, to classify the effectiveness of gold-annotated argument spans. In doing so, we want to investigate the influence of 3 factors, which we assume the classification will benefit from. They are context, argument type, and prompt information. Our result shows adding each of the additional features individually already improves performance. Adding all of them together leads to the largest improvement for both classifiers.
How nice! If additional features are so powerful, why don't you add more features to your language model? Let's say maybe a mouse, so it can actually speak its language.
Well, you can't add a real mouth to a language model, but in our study, we do add something to language models in our multitask learning study. It's a additional classification head.
By adding this classification head to the BERT, we could predict the discourse type and quality of gold spines at the same time. However, the gold spines are usually not available in a realistic classroom setting. Therefore, we combine the spine detection together into the multitasking learning through adding an additional output head to the sequence tagging architecture based on long-former. We show that the multitask learning approach combining the three tasks outperforms sequential approaches.
Thank you for your introduction. You see, researchers in educational NLP like you introduced the machine learning to make the life of teachers easier. But in doing so, they inadvertently introduced the AI, which is going to kill everyone. Sorry, it's not a question, it's just something I read on Twitter.